Today's tech tip will go over the importance of something that should be taken into consideration more often than it is: engine teardown. Now, it is the least glamorous of the engine building process, but arguably as important as final assembly. Especially when you are working with takeout parts from a salvage yard or a running engine from a donor vehicle. Carefully inspecting parts as they come out will give you a good idea on what's happening in the engine, and it will help you spot a potential problem before it's too late. We're using our 383 stroker small block Chevy project as an example. We took a complete running engine out of the car, which ran rather well, I must say, and we're switching out some parts to pick up power. We're not reusing anything that's on this table, but we're going to learn a bunch by inspecting these components and taking a look at the short block itself. There are a couple of easy things to look at that will tell you how well the engine was cared for and how well it was running. First to look at is how clean is the lifter valley. Any sludge deposits present will tell you that the oil was not changed as often as it needed to be. This particular engine actually looks pretty nice. Another is the carbon layer on top of the piston. An even coat tells me the engine was tuned well. No oil present means the ring seal is good. And the crosshatch that is still present on the cylinder walls means that the engine wasn't overfueled and the ring gap was sufficient for its power level. The top end parts tell a little different story. Although this engine seemed to run fine, there are a few indicators that there was some goofy stuff going on. For instance, all of the rocker arms were obviously rubbing on the valve springs retainer, and all that aluminum had to go somewhere. Which was the oil pan. Never a good thing. Also, the shims that were under the valve springs are all chewed up. This was caused by rotation, which would tell me that it has a bunch of valve train instability. Adding to that, the hydraulic roller lifters have some wear on their bodies. This didn't cause any issues, but we are noting it. The lifter bores were fine, and since we are changing these out, it's not a big deal. Last but not least is the distributor assembly itself. It has some corrosion on the reluctor as well as inside the housing, which can affect its operation. This tells me that the car was probably stored outside and didn't receive regular inspection of its ignition components. And the severely worn bronze distributor gear even deposited more material into the oil pan. It's tempting just to chuck all of your used parts in the trash can as you take apart your project, but carefully looking at things as they come apart will give you insight on the engine's condition and whether or not you have a suitable starting point for your next bullet.